Hi, Anne here. I graduated as a civil engineer from Adelaide University in 1968. Now I'm told that meant I was the first female engineer to graduate and work as an engineer from Adelaide University. So I think that makes me a bit of a heritage item. I like that. I was not a good student, right? I thank the faculty at the time, particularly the marvellous George Sved, who would not let me fail. And I particularly thank my laboratory partner, Richard, who carried me through all the lab work in that final year. Thank you, guys. After I graduated, this was a time of non-equal pay for women. I was offered jobs with BHP and the government at 85% of the male rate and chose not to take those jobs. So worked with a structural engineer down there on East Avenue, Colin Walker, and worked very happily with him for a year. But the engineering work at that time was starting to become computer-aided design, and all the computer-aided design programs were coming from North America. So I chose to follow that route and to go to North America to see what was happening there. I worked for 2 years in Canada as a structural engineer, but then got the best job ever as a project manager with a company that was building high-rise apartments. They gave their project managers full control of the budget, of the construction site, of the handover, of the sales. Right? I was given total support as a woman engineer, despite some complaints from the site supervisors, who were fairly blokey blokes, but as long as I kept the supply of the construction going, as long as I kept their supplies up, as long as I kept the money up, as long as the apartments kept on being handed over to sales, and as long as people kept moving in, everybody was happy. There were only two items on the critical path of these buildings. It was structure up and elevators down. All other trades fitted into that schedule. We could pour 3 floors of 500 square metres every 2 weeks using a single formwork system. I'll just throw that in for the engineers who may understand it. And we did this 12 months a year, no winters, no break at all. I was very good at this. I worked ridiculous hours in 3 different cities and was treated wonderfully. But it was not Australia, so in 1980 I came back. Australia was a shock. I could not show any of the projects I had done because nobody believed that I had done them. I worked for a short time with Lend-Lease, but it was not a good fit. But I found a partner who worked with me on development. He was good at banks, I was good at construction. So I became a developer again, and I worked in Sydney doing 3-story walk-ups, townhouses, villas. Wonderful times, very long hours, very hard work, but it was great fun. Then in 1986, my beloved daughter turned up, and she was on site within 3 days of being born. In 2004, my husband died after a short illness. The day after he died, I got an email from St. George Bank which said, "Our condolences. Your accounts are frozen, your loans are cancelled. They will not be renewed as you no longer have the benefit of your husband's income." My husband's income was director's fees from my developments. But anyway, apparently the bank felt that the male was the principal of the company and would not loan me money to continue with developments. They insisted that I sell down my building sites, which I did. So we pivoted. By this time, my daughter had a construction degree and a master's in town planning, And together we took on consultancies in the residential business of Sydney. We helped hundreds of people get approvals, sort out problems with councils, sort out complying, certifications, any problems to do with residential development in Sydney we would take on, and we were very good at it. I'd like to talk about the participation of women in construction. At the present time, approximately 20% of the engineering class is female, so that's critical mass, right? They're good, right? Most women seem to go into bureaucratic jobs, in councils, in government jobs. That's fine, but the participation on site is 4%, and that's terrible. The gender pay gap in construction is 25%. Women get paid 25% less than males because women get the low-paying jobs in construction. I want a time when every Year 10 girl who goes into her careers day can consider construction and engineering as a logical, a legitimate career path. And for myself, I keep working and loving it. Over my life, I have contributed to 3,500 homes. So every night I know there are 3,500 families who are sheltered because of something that I have contributed to. And that makes me very happy.